Good evening, good evening, good evening again, folks. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We are going back to that horrible world known as the JRC, but before we do, the usual disclaimers. If you are unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, you're going to find all the pertinent links right there in the description box. Please, in particular, take note of the article written by NeuroClastic, a small non for profit started by Autistics for Autistics. In it, they interviewed over 800 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so called Behavior Modification Program. Sorry, my head itches. The Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read that article so much. They threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove it from the website. Well, folks, pardon me, NeuroClastic refused, so you know the drill. Please read the article, share on all your social media. Also included is NeuroClastic's public statement in regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding just in case the JRC ever actually does see through with their threats. Trigger warning 1. When we discuss places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center or Agape Boarding School for Boys, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please make sure to use your headphones. Trigger warning 2, this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We use profanity on occasion and speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger and they are watching this, very obviously, parental supervision is very much advised. Alright, now where we left off last time. The costs of the proposed rule. The proposed rule, if finalized, would ban electrical stimulation devices for self-injurious and aggressive behavior and require that the facility stop using the devices at the effective date of the rule, except for those devices currently in use and have a physician-directed transition plan, for which the facility would have up to 180 days after the publication of the rule to comply. So that would mean kind of like you transition off of things like Adderall or Ritalin. It's kind of the same deal. We're going to transition you from being on to the device into a program that actually does what it's supposed to do, right? Yes, that's what those are for. As discussed in the baseline section, Section D, we use a range of 51 to 54 as the numbers of individuals that would be affected under the proposed rule to account for those currently subject to the device and those at the facility who could potentially use the device under court approval. Those individuals could either move to a different facility where the device is not used or transition to an alternative therapy at the affected facility. Here's the thing though. The JRC doesn't really necessarily have an effective backup plan. We've had Dr. Israel and Glenda Cook make very clear and their whatever that hell was supposed to be their response to the New York 2006 report that they don't even necessarily know what positive behavioral reinforcement is. They don't know the science about it, and they don't know how to implement it. So, I'm going to say you are going to want to send the kids to a different facility. Because at the end of the day, folks, what we can't forget is that the GED device is just the beginning of the tortures that they do at the JRC. They have those bizarre behavioral rehearsal lessons that we've gone over on this channel, which would where they deliberately trigger a behavior so that they can punish the behavior in order to communicate that the behavior is wrong. If it sounds insane, it's because it is insane. They have the contingent food program, if you remember that, where kids will, if they don't act neurotypical 24/7, will be forced to throw food portions that they're forced to wear like a belt around them all day into the trash can. And if they have a bad day and can't mask anymore, they are forced to actually eat that liver powdered gruel. And I can tell you, as an autistic, if I'm giving something that would cause me nothing but absolute sensory pain and hell to eat because of so called behaviors, I will allow myself to starve to death. I'm just saying, the majority of us are just built that way. All right? We will allow ourselves to starve to death before eating something that deliberately is made to trigger every single one of our sensory issues in alphabetical order. All right, so they have that. And don't forget the sleep deprivation, where they'll wake those kids up in the middle of the night for a behavior that they had during the day in order to consequent them. Right? So, yeah, tip of the iceberg is the GED. This is simply the first step. There is still a lot of work to go. So, in this situation, I would say the best case scenario for those kids once transitioned off the device would be being sent to other programs that are sane. Or even, although they say, but it's impossible. I have seen community-based services address those of us who have SIB and AB effectively out in their own communities every single day for over the last 20 years. Do not tell me that it's impossible. Okay? I'm still in contact with the state. I'm still part of the Mentor to Mentor program. I have my own group out here that I started back in 2008. Believe me, I would know. Right? Places like this need to be closed down. And then the overall multitude of issues that therapies such as ABA are absolutely riddled with need to be addressed. If we want to start having some sane treatment programs that are geared towards us and what we want instead of the neurotypicals around us and what they want. Okay? We're going to go ahead and close out on that one, folks. I know it's a shorter video, but I'm getting a little tired here. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few that we do get do tend to get removed from time to time. So, folks, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe. Don't forget to hit the comments. I appreciate your time. As always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. I will see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye, everyone.